Today, we are continuing with the education essays. And this essay is that some teachers say students should be organized into groups to study. Others argue that students should be made to study alone. Tell the benefits of each study method. Now, this is whether students should be they should be, made to study in groups so that they learn from each other, or they should be, solo study should be promoted among them. So you have to tell the benefits of each study method, and you have also to tell which one is more effective. So this is which type of an essay? Tell me. Okay, tell me, is it an opinion essay? Is it an agree disagree essay? Yes or no? Quickly.
Opinion.
No.
Opinion.
Is it no? Is it an agree disagree essay? Yes or no?
No.
No. Is it a positive negative development?
No.
No.
Is it advantages more than the disadvantages?
No.
Is it discuss both views?
Yes.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it is not
Yeah.
discuss both views. Is it? Is it a problem solution?
No.
Then it
No,
is a
ma'am.
direct question essay. That's the only one that's left.
Direct question. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Direct question.
It's a direct question essay. You have to tell the benefits of each method. So in the introduction, you will write that it is believed by some that students should be organized into groups to study, while others promote solo study. In this essay, I'll tell the benefits of each method. You are not going to discuss both views. You are going to tell benefits of both advantages of both methods. I believe it depends on the situation, and both study methods have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so then all you need now is the ideas, and your essay is done. All right. So what are the advantages of group study? If it provides learners the opportunity to share their ideas among group members so that they can broaden their knowledge in much less time than they would be able to do while studying alone. Having other students around to help review concepts can help with a deeper understanding of the class material. When students study in groups, they develop social skills like making a contribution, agreeing or disagreeing with someone, and asking a person to give examples of their point. Studying in a group also makes students accountable to the group and keeps them motivated to study and not lose focus. Studying in groups in class prepares students for future jobs and work situations where they have to work in a team. So what are the advantages of solo study? When students study alone, then they have no distractions and they can concentrate better. This is especially helpful in subjects like mathematics and physics. Studying alone also increases their self-esteem, their ability to learn things and solve problems on their own makes them more confident. Students can learn at their own pace and don't have to keep up with the group. Own view is that teachers should mix and match both approaches, depending on the subject and the situation. For boring subjects like history and philosophy, students should be organized into groups. But for subjects that need concentration, individual study should be encouraged. Both methods have their own importance and should complement each other. Now note the spellings of the word complement. Complement. Okay, both methods complete each other rather than being treated as rivals. Now, next essay is everyone should stay in school until they reach the age of 18. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, this is the essay on school leaving age. Normally, what is the school leaving age in your country? In our country, it is 15, 16, 16. Normally, it is 16. But in some countries, they have planned to increase the school leaving age to 18. Okay. So what are is it good or bad? So the essay says that everyone should stay in school till the age of 18. Now, if you agree, you will say, you can go both sides. You can say, while there are a few disadvantages of staying in school till the age of 18, I believe the advantages are far more. So I agree with the given statement. And then you will write the few disadvantages that you have talked about in the intro, and then write more advantages and say that I agree that everyone should be in school. Although there are disadvantages, I admit that, but still I believe that school leaving age should be 18. Is that clear how to put in the concession? Now you read the points. Every advantages of raising the school leaving age to 18. The age of 14 to 18 is the most impressionable age of a child's life. During this period of adolescence, the child undergo children undergo physical and hormonal changes because of which they are under a lot of pressure. Therefore, lengthening compulsory schooling helps protect childhood. More education provides the opportunity to acquire more skills and therefore more employment options. Raising the school leaving age is a crucial investment in society's future. Doing so increases the economic potential of the future workforce and so will bring increased tax revenues in the long term. Have you understood these points or should I expand on them? Tell me. Which point do you like me to expand further?
And the last one.
Last one is, see, when the school leaving age is raised, so it is, because then every child, if the school compulsory school leaving age is raised, that means every child is getting education till the age of 18. Now what will happen is that children who leave school after 14, 15 or 16, okay, they will be only getting education till 10th class. Now till 18 they can get some vocational education also after 10th, or they can get at least that secondary education, which will be they'll get better jobs. So basically future workforce will improve, will be more educated, and ultimately there will be more tax revenues for the government. So it is an investment for the future. What do you understand by the term investment? आज आप पैसे इन्वेस्ट करते हो तो क्यों करते हो? कि कल उसके रिटर्न्स अच्छे आएंगे. ठीक है?
In order to generate the assets.
Yes, so this is an investment. Sorry, Nafise, I'll keep in mind only no Hindi, only English. Next is disadvantages of raising the compulsory schooling to the age of 18. Disadvantages is it will be an investment for the government. It will be an added burden for the government. Okay, because the schools will need to invest teachers, books, new school buildings, and it would be very expensive. And many families also need their children to make economic contribution to the family income, and working early can help these families to survive. Just being in school does not guarantee that a student is learning. Unwilling students become disruptive and damage the education of others in the class. So basically, these 3 points you must give first and say, admittedly, there are disadvantages, but on the whole, there are more advantages. So I go for raising the school leaving age to 18. All right. Then we come to this essay. Nowadays, sending children to boarding school. So this essay is on the boarding school. Boarding school is becoming popular. Why is it? First, they've asked you the reasons why parents are sending their children to boarding schools, and then they've asked you whether it is positive or negative. Okay. So now the reasons why sending children to boarding school is becoming increasingly popular. First, some parents who work overseas to travel frequently choose to put their children in boarding school because they know how inconsistent they will be in parenting or in providing for the needs of their children. So, there are parents whose jobs involve a lot of traveling. Now, when children go to school, they come back, they have to be looked after, their homework has to be looked after, their diet, their sleeping time, everything has to be looked after. And such parents cannot consistently take care of their children. So they send to boarding school, and other parents choose for their children as a way of them to experience more of the world. Some parents want their children to go to boarding school because they want their children to learn independence at a young age, to be self-sufficient, and they also learn how to interact with diverse people, because in boardings there are children from all over. Okay. Third, if some children are very indisciplined at home and parents, send them to boarding as a way of punishment. Okay. And in this age of dual income, this is a last point. In this age of dual income nuclear families, a child's life and development often takes place in rather unsuitable circumstances. And so boarding schools can be a great place for children to be in. You know what? In boarding schools, they have time for the after school hours, they have games, outdoor games and everything. Everything is so disciplined over there. So good boarding schools are really good for the children, but not all people can afford. So what are the advantages of sending children to boarding school? These reasons are also the advantages. And these schools are not just about studies. They also give a child time and exposure to a lot of other things like sports and arts. Children in such schools are more likely to have stronger bonds with their friends since they spend a lot of time together. What are the disadvantages? The disadvantages are homesickness, and children in residential schools have fewer day-to-day interactions with their families and significantly less time to spend with their parents during their formative years. As a result, many parents who place their kids in boarding schools fail to develop a close bond. Okay, just let me close the TV. Okay. So next is, so this essay we have done. Any point which you would like me to expand on further? Any point which you find difficult to understand? This is easy. Next is private secondary schools and the advantages and disadvantages. This is a discuss essay. Some people think that students benefit from going to private secondary schools, whereas others say that private secondary schools can have a negative effect on society. You have to discuss both views. Now, in a discuss essay, what is very important is the topic sentence of the paragraphs that you write, body paragraphs. It's very important. Topic sentences you have to write really well. Okay. You have to tell the examiner that you mean that in the first paragraph you are giving the views of some people. There are many reasons why some people say private secondary schools are good. On the other hand, there are those who say that private secondary schools are not good. Give their reasons as follows. So these two sentences are very important. How to begin the paragraph. Introduction is easy, and now the advantages and disadvantages of private secondary schools. First, the advantages. So these schools have smaller classroom size. So what do you mean by classroom size? Yes, Dipali, what is the meaning of classroom size? Does it mean a room size 10 foot by 10 foot, 20 foot by 20 foot? What is the meaning of classroom size?
Like
Pardon?
Just a few
Yes.
students.
Less student, number of students
Less
are less.
students. The number of
Class are
students.
less. Okay. Private
Yeah.
secondary schools offer better academic and extracurricular programs. As a result, there are lower dropout rates. So they have better academic and extracurricular programs. Then there is less on-campus violence in private schools as compared to government schools. What are the disadvantages? There is less diversity. What do you understand by this term, less diversity in private schools? What does it mean?
Usually upper class students are there.
Yes, so only the upper class. So there is less diversity in normal public school students meet other children from diverse backgrounds. Okay. And private secondary schools don't conform strictly to educational regulations. So parents have to do a lot of effort to select the right school for their children. So there is a lot of effort in private schools. Parents have to really select the right, do a lot of homework to select the right school. And private schools are very expensive. These schools increase the gap between the rich and the poor. Children from affluent backgrounds can afford these schools. So these create an imbalance in society. Next is, these are three essays. In some countries, university students live away from home and in another city while studying. Do you think that disadvantages outweigh the advantages of living in another city? Now, if the university is in your hometown, only then you can stay in the university. But in some countries, university students, they choose universities which are not in their hometown. They choose universities which are far, or they're good universities they choose to go which are not near, and they have to live in another city. Now they have asked you, what is more of this approach, living in another city for higher education? Are the advantages more or the disadvantages more? You have to do both. Write both in this essay. Whatever you think is more, whatever you write is more, you have to write more on those points. And second essay is, in some countries, more and more adults are living with their parents after graduating from college, university, or even after finding a job. So now this is, more and more adults are living with their parents. So aajkal, it has become a trend. Earlier, beach mein, there was a trend that once children graduate, we are not talking of India here. India, it's, it is very common that adults live with their parents even after passing out of college and even after joining a job. But in Western countries, this was not the norm. But now it has come back again. And more adults are living with their parents. Okay. So now they have just asked you what is more. And the third essay here is, in many countries around the world, young people decide to leave their parents' home once they finish school. They start living on their own or sharing a home with friends. Some people think it is a positive thing. Do you agree or disagree? Now, what you have to agree or disagree with is that whether staying alone after graduating is good or bad. Okay. So the question is that some people say it is good. Now, if you agree, you are saying it is good. If you disagree, you are saying it is bad. You can go two-sided by saying, while there are a few disadvantages, the disadvantages are far more. Or you can say, while there are a few advantages, the disadvantages are far more.
Ma'am, I didn't understand the first question.
This one?
Yes, ma'am.
This just says that, when you choose a university, mostly you stay away from your home. You don't stay at home. You stay away from your home in another city when you have to study in any university. So they've just asked you the advantages and disadvantages. Supposing, there is this lovely professional university in my hometown, and children from, some places here can daily come and go back home, but they prefer staying in the university in another city while studying. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of living away from home and, in another city while studying, while going for tertiary education? Have you understood it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Neha?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
yes.
in second and third question, is it important to write both the views?
No, you can go one-sided. No, in second, you cannot go one-sided. In third, you can go one-sided. In advantages, disadvantages, if you say advantages are more, you still write both. If you say disadvantages are more, you still write both. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So the advantages of students staying near the university: first, increased personal space and fewer restrictions are there. While living with parents, students have to take permission for decisions. Second, it enables students to learn how to cope with things independently. They have to manage all their tasks like cooking, laundry, cleaning. In most situations, students have to share an apartment or a dorm with other students for economic reasons. This develops useful social skills as they learn how to adjust and cooperate with others, how to calmly handle disagreements, and how to share responsibilities. And the disadvantages are expensive because of the added financial costs of housing, rent, and food. Housing, rent, and housing rent. Okay, housing, rent, and food. So students are forced to pick up a part-time job while working, and this may leave them very little time for social activities or study after classes. Another issue is safety, as unlike their hometown, children might not know many people in the new city. They might make friends or acquaintances with people with questionable intentions. So what is questionable? Not honest, honorable, or wise. All right. Advantages of living with parents after graduating college. So such children contribute towards the household income and share the expenses. This reduces the burden on the earning members of the family. It helps them reduce their own expenses and helps them save money. They can invest money or save money for a future home. There is a better bonding and stronger family ties in a family that stays together. It helps them deal better with stressful situations in life and at work, as they can share problems with their parents. If children stay longer with their parents, they are more likely to support and take care of their parents in old age due to the strong family bonds. And what are the disadvantages of living with parents after graduating college? Living with the parents after completing their education may make the children more dependent rather than independent. They may never learn financial responsibility if they are dependent on their parents' hard-earned wages and do not contribute towards the household expenses. They may never step out of their comfort zone and consequently do not learn to handle challenges very well. If the parents have a retirement plan, they have to put it on hold till the time the children are staying at home. This is there. So parents, they want to go on a world tour after retirement, but their child is with them. They have to see that his about his needs also, cooking, cleaning, everything for that. So they have to put their retirement plans on hold till their children are staying at home. What are the advantages of children leaving their homes and living on their own or with friends after finishing school? Living alone or sharing an apartment with a friend teaches young adults to become independent and more confident. They also develop decision-making skills and learn to deal with situations and problems on their own. Living away from home encourages young people to explore more and learn more. They meet new people from different backgrounds and cultures, which helps them to become more social. And what are the disadvantages of children leaving their homes and living on their own after finishing school? Such freedom to the youth usually takes them on the wrong path, like drug addiction, petty crime, etc. So we are talking of young children. Just after school, at the age of 18, they start living alone with their friends. Okay, this is that essay.
Then
Now-
petty crime means?
Petty means small crime, like pickpocketing, shoplifting, chain snatching. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
More and more students choose to go to another country for their higher education. Do you think the benefits outweigh the problems associated with it? So advantages of going to another country for higher education. Students with an overseas education have better employability. Many employers consider overseas experience a positive and enriching attribute for any employee. Okay. Students get a chance to learn about other cultures. This makes them more broad-minded and more accepting of people from different backgrounds. Being alone in a foreign country makes a student independent and self-reliant in terms of solving issues and making important decisions. And the disadvantages of going to another country for higher education, the most difficult situation can be the culture shock a student has to face. Everything is different, which leads to homesickness and loneliness. The financial difficulties are always there, and the student may have a tough time coping up with the part-time job and the pressure of studies. Many students may get placed in those countries where they go to study, which may cause brain drain. What is brain drain? You don't know what's brain drain?
Yeah, when genius people go abroad.
Yes. Like you've come to India, Nafise. And after leaving your
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. So this is, children find it difficult to concentrate on or pay attention to school. What are the reasons? How can we solve this problem? So why children cannot concentrate? First point that I've written is sleep deprivation. You know, children are so busy on social media, they don't sleep enough now. They keep themselves busy chatting or watching something on the social media. And that is, they cannot concentrate because they have not had a proper sleep. So even not just children, even if we people don't sleep properly, the next day we cannot work with that, zeal and vigor. Am I right? Or you can do it. Many students lose focus because of long class hours and limited breaks in between classes. Because of this, children feel overwhelmed and their performance suffers as their brain does not get time to relax and revitalize itself. Third, a disorganized notebook or desk can be a cause of distractions for many students. Children may be spending more time searching for the tools and material needed to learn rather than paying attention to what is being taught in class. Noise and activity from other classmates can also distract them. A teacher's teaching style may be traditional, outdated, and boring, and thus may not be engaging enough for the students. So are these 5 points clear? You know, sometimes the table on which they study is not organized properly, disorganized, that can be distracting. And then noise and activity from other classmates. Then, sometimes there is a window or something from which children can look out, that can be distraction. Okay. And then a teaching style may not be good of the teacher, and that can be distracting. So what are the solutions? Parents need to make sure that their child stick to a nightly routine and sleep on time. A good sleep gives a child's mind a chance to absorb everything from the day and recharge for tomorrow. Children focus better if they are given brief breaks for physical activity in between classes. For example, including some outdoor play times or providing a quick stretching or jumping jacks break in the classroom can all help children stay focused. If teachers are enthusiastic and make lessons fun and interesting, students are more likely to stay engaged. Okay. Next essay is just see who is teaching you. Just see this girl. Just see this girl. Just come on my lap. Nora, I'm teaching. You want to teach? Huh? She's sitting on my lap. She was crying, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up, please. And now the other ones are feeling jealous. Okay. These are the essays now we are going to do. Many people use distance learning programs to study at home, but some people think that it cannot bring the benefit as much as attending college or university. So this essay is that, actually attending college or university or having distance learning programs, okay, or going for them like online classes or something like that, okay. So this essay is on that. And students at schools and universities learn far more from lessons with teachers than from other sources such as internet and television. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Third is computers are increasingly used in education. In which areas do you think are computers more important, and in which areas are teachers more important? And next is school teachers used to be the source of information. However, some people argue that that teachers are not as important as before as the increasing variety of information resources. Do you agree or disagree? Then computers are widely used in education, and some people think teachers do not play an important role in the classroom. To what extent do you agree or disagree? In the past, lectures were used as a way of teaching large number of students, but now with the development of technology for education, many people think there is no justification for attending lectures. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Some people think computers and internet are important in children's studies, but others think students can learn effectively in schools and with teachers. Discuss both sides, give your opinion. Some people think it is not necessary for adults to receive education in class. Self-study is a good way for them. Now, all these essays I've put in one because all these essays, the gist is teacher versus technology. Is that correct? Teacher versus technology, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you pick and choose the points we are going to do together now, and then your essays are done if you know how to handle any type of essay. Okay. Teachers are better than technology because now you should know these points. Teachers can stimulate interest. Teachers can, incite the interest of children and can keep students focused on study. A student studying by himself through internet and TV may get bored and stop studying. Teachers can provide a faster and simpler way to present information to the students. They can come down to the level of a student and so are definitely better than computers. Teachers help a student develop good communication skills and other social skills. Then there are many practical subjects students can learn best from the teacher. For example, experiments in physics and chemistry are best learned by the teacher guiding you at every step. Next is teachers give assignments and regularly check them. This helps the teachers to recognize the weak points of students and guide them accordingly. All this cannot be done efficiently by the internet and television. A computer can efficiently check the answers, but the corrections can only be made by a teacher. So now you've got so many points, okay? Remember 2 or 3 points in the exam and your essay can be made very nicely, all right? Now, what are the advantages of actually attending college or university? This is not just teachers' benefits we have done, but actually going out, going to the college, attending, that means you meet your other class fellows also. You learn from there, okay? There are some extracurricular activities also in which you participate. When you learn from technology, can you do all that? No. Okay. So the first point is classroom lectures are more educative and enlightening than mere reading of written courseware due to the direct interaction between the students and the teachers. Students can help each other through the exchange of ideas and information after class hours. One learns better in a more disciplined atmosphere. One can easily access reference books and other valuable reading material from the university library. Apart from academic curriculum, the student also gains by useful participation in other extracurricular activities like sports, competitions, contests, and the like. There are many campus placement opportunities also when you actually go to a university. So you can pick and choose which point will suit best your essay. Okay, we have more points. In importance of the internet and television in education. The internet is an ocean of knowledge. Students can get information about any topic on earth from the internet. Television also has a lot of educative programs, and students who for some reason cannot go to schools and colleges benefit a lot from these programs. And then, there is an essay in which talk about the areas in which computers are better than teachers and talk about areas in which teachers are better than computers. So for that essay, you have to put why computers are better. Computers can help simplify the topics through audio and visual aids. And being human beings, teachers have limited knowledge, whereas computers offer students a complete and thorough understanding of the subject that has been fed into it. Computers are more important in those areas in which repetition is needed. For example, in elementary math and elementary language learning, a computer can be programmed to provide answers to an endless number of simple questions. The advantages of online learning kya hai? Online mode of learning is easily accessible and can even reach remote and rural areas. Online learning is a relatively cheaper mode of education in terms of the lower cost of transportation, accommodation, and the overall cost of institution-based learning. And online learning is flexible as a learner can schedule and plan their time for completion of courses available online. So are the points clear? Let me know if any point you couldn't understand, I can expand on it. All right. So these are the two last essays we are doing for today, and then I have to go somewhere. So I'll teach the remaining education essays next week on Monday, or maybe I plan a class on Sunday if that's okay with you all. Schools should stop using books for teaching children as they find them boring, and use films, TV, and computer instead. To what extent do you agree with this? So this essay says कि जो schools है ना, they should stop using books. They should only teach through films, TV, and computers. Do you agree or disagree? You can agree and say yes. It would make learning great fun. You can disagree and say no. And you can go two-sided. While these films, TV, and computers are good sources of teaching children, I do not agree that books should be stopped altogether. Okay. All right. So the second essay is some children can learn efficiently by watching TV. Therefore, they should be encouraged to watch TV both at home and at school. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So the first essay says ki books, you should stop teaching using books in classroom. Second essay says that TV should be there both in the classroom and at home to teach. Now I'm going to do the points for these essays. And the first set of points is why multimedia tools have an edge over the traditional book. So if in the first essay you say you agree strongly, then you will put these points and make the whole essay. Got it? The computer can stimulate and educate students better than books or speech alone ever could. Electronic search mechanisms can help students find passages instantly, which would be hard to find in a book unless they remembered precisely where to look. Multiple windows allow students to keep multiple passages in front of them simultaneously. Through such media, there could be an immediate exchange of ideas with other students across the globe, which could be very exciting for the students And computers and TV could prove very useful, especially when there is a lack of good teachers, such as in remote areas. It would be good for the environment because paper would be used less. So these are the points. You can pick and choose any 2-3 points, make one paragraph, 1 point, and your one-sided essay is done. Then how TV can be a good means of educating children. TV is an audiovisual medium and can be more effective in teaching children. What is seen is retained longer in the minds of children. TV can make even boring subjects like history interesting. TV can teach a lot about a subject in a short amount of time. And why watching TV for education should not be encouraged. If TV is to be used as an educational tool, then very strict monitoring would be needed as to what children watch on TV. Books contain the most knowledge and have more depth. Educational programs on channels like National Geographic do not give deep knowledge and are more for entertainment. If children watch TV in school, then their interaction with the teacher would be limited. Children would read less when they learn everything from TV. Reading is an active activity as compared to TV, which is a passive activity. So I hope these points are clear to you. Any point which you need me to expand on, I'll be happy to do that.
Clear, ma'am.
All right, then. Now I have to take your leave now. And we have done quite a few essays. Another 20 pages are still left of the education essays. So we'll have to do 1 day or 2 days more on these. And then education essays means 1/4 of the total essays done of both academic and GT. 1/4 syllabus covered. But other sets of other groups of essays are not that big. Only education essays was 90 essays, 90 plus essays. Okay. Others are just like some are 10, some are 6, some are 10, 20, 30, like that. We'll be able to do them soon. Okay. All right. Nafisa,
Ma'am, it's a
yes.
ma'am, it's a class on Monday, no?
Yes. Why not?
Good. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, ma'am. Bye.